So I know we've already been here for a while, so I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. My name is Tony Powell, and I started a company called Philosoplay. That's just a video game development company. So I'll just jump into it. So how did I get into video games, video game design? Well, I started in high school, and my story isn't something that I would really recommend everybody else and stuff to try to get into games with and stuff, but I was in high school, it was my senior year, and I had a brand new teacher come to school, and he taught 2 computer science classes, and I had them both back to back. And he, in the first course was a programming class. The other class was a 2D animation course for web design. And so I had both of those courses, and I remember in the first week he was showing us the syllabus for how to make a web page with certain animations in it. And at the top of the page was one of those clickbait banner things where if you move the mouse into the banner, it says like, you know, you can shoot the can or whack the mole or something. And I asked him, hey, are we gonna build something like that? And he was like, well, that's too complicated, you know, but you could do something with that software. And at that point, I just turned off everything in the class and just started focusing on trying to make a video game with the software that we had. And before I knew it, it was midterms, and I had no work to turn into stuff. I just had like a little small game. And so he said, you know what, tell you what, Tony, if you can finish this game by the end of the year, I'll pass you in the class. Don't worry about the homework, don't worry about the class or about the test. You still have to do a midterm and a final, but if you finish this game by the end of the year, I'll give you an A in the class. But if you don't, then you'll fail and you won't graduate high school on time. So finish the game. And so like, you know, like in those movies, like in the movie Rocky, where like the music starts playing, he starts training hard and stuff. That was me for the rest of the year. I was just like, eye of the tiger, this and that, you know. And it took up until the last hour of the school year to finish the game. And I turned it in, and he played it. And I just remember sitting in the back room saying, please don't hit escape on the 3rd level. And but he played it, he loved it. He gave me the thumbs up, and I got to graduate on time. So it was awesome and stuff. And I'm walking out of graduation, cap and gown on and stuff, and he runs up to me and says, Tony, stick with video games. That's your thing. Don't worry about anything else. And so I've been into video games ever since then. And then I went to school at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh for video game development. And I got my bachelor's of computer science and game art and design. And then I started a company called Philosoplay. And I'm working on my first commercial game, which is called That Rock, Paper, Scissor Game. And so basically what Philosoplay is interested in doing is taking ideas, thoughts, and dreams and translating them into something that you can interact with and stuff. It's video games right now, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be applications or anything like that, you know, like any way that you can just have an idea and then show it to people and then have them push buttons to interact with it and stuff is what we're really, really focused on and stuff. The first game, like I was saying, was That Rock, Paper, Scissor Game, which is basically played like Pac-Man. You have to chase one player but avoid the other, and the player with the highest score at the end of the match wins. At first, the game was much more complicated, but there's like this really good saying where it's like, keep it simple, stupid. You know, like the simpler the game is, the further it'll travel in the marketplace and in the hearts and minds of everybody who wants to play it and stuff. And so with that in mind, I just created a top-down game where it's just like Pac-Man. All you do is move up, down, left, or right, and your objective is to smash into one and avoid the other. And that seems to carry very well with people over the generations and stuff. Like I've had three generations playing the game together at the same time, and it was very competitive match and stuff. So it was pretty awesome. I have a trailer that I'll show. I couldn't get it working with PowerPoint and stuff, but I'll show it at the end of it. But what keeps me making games, it sure isn't the money. Like when you start making games at first, like many other industries, you're not going to make much money at first and stuff. You know, like but if you stick with it, you'll get better at your craft, and you'll be able to create something that will appeal to more people, and hence your popularity goes up, and also hopefully your finances if you tie it together properly. The other thing, as I mentioned before, is it allows me to share my imagination with others in an interactive way. I can impress my friends and family when I throw all these geeky terms and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like pixels and, you know, like variables and data. Also, I love problem solving. If you're going to get into video game development, you have to love problem solving because there's no shortage of problems in making video games and stuff. But if that's something that you love solving puzzles, if you love coming up with objectives and rules and strategies and things like that, and then watching other people operate within those constraints and stuff to try to win, video game design is something for you and stuff. I guarantee you, to some capacity, you may not make a video game, you might make just a board game or a card game or outdoor sports game or something like that, but if you love problem solving, that's the industry for you and stuff. And also you'll get the feeling of accomplishing something that you thought was impossible or something that no one else has ever done before. A lot of times you'll play video games and you'll be like, I wonder why they didn't make it like this or like that, and if I were to do this, if I were to do it, I would have done it this way and stuff, you know. And if you're actually making a video game, you can actually test it out and see sometimes why they actually did it the way they did and stuff, because sometimes that makes more sense. And the video game industry is always changing all the time. It's always shifting with new software, new hardware that needs to work with the software and vice versa and stuff. And if you love change, then video game design is definitely for you as well. So why should you consider making games? Video game development can be a great way to express yourself. Like anything that happened to you in your past, or things that you want to happen in your future, or things that you're personally going through, video games can be a great way to express that. It's also a great avenue to teach people and also to learn things and stuff. Nowadays we're starting to see video games make its way to the classroom more and more, and a lot of kids, who were explaining before, are really excited about that. It's a lot easier to teach a kid something through a video game than to put a textbook and then have kids say, okay, well, remember this thing exactly the way it is. If they can interact with it, they're more likely to remember it and for it to stick into their brain and stuff. It's also a great way that you can expand your imagination when you're trying to focus on how to build something, or focus on how you can get players to go from point A to point B and the different things that they have to traverse over. It will force you to try to think of new ways that you normally wouldn't think of how to solve a problem and stuff. Because you can also make a lot of money. There are some success stories. There are a lot of success stories out there. Not nearly as many as on the opposite side, but everyone on the opposite side is still a work in progress, so they'll eventually make a lot of money. And also, it's a great way to get into tech-related fields. So even if video game development isn't something for you, you can learn a lot through it that can help you out in like app development or web development or something like that. And there's also a lot of new tools that you can use, like Unity, Unreal, or even Kodu, which you can pick up in a few minutes to start making a video game and stuff in like 5 or 10 minutes. That's awesome. A lot of software is free or cheap, and a lot of hardware is cheap as well. So there's no shortage of things that you need in order to make a video game. There's also lots and lots and lots of online tutorials, like on YouTube or just surfing Google and stuff for written tutorials. There's so many different free ways to learn how to make video games. It's really incredible. And you also get to meet other people who make video games, which is really awesome because they feel like you're all intelligent, on the same intelligence level and stuff, And that's basically it and stuff. So I can show you guys like a trailer. I'll show you basically a trailer for all those that didn't get a chance to play that rock. But before the trailer comes up, does anyone have any questions or anything? Oh, yeah. So this is the first game that we're working on and stuff. Again, like we try to keep it as simple as possible. Just taking a game that everybody knows and loves, which is rock, paper, scissors. Everybody in this room at some point in time has played rock, paper, scissors or has come across it and stuff. And it's something that people don't have to really think too much about outside of what they do. And they're just chasing each other around, trying to smash into one but avoid the other and stuff. There's also power-ups and stuff that can enhance your gameplay, where you can turn invisible or use landmines or use a shield or even pickpocket other players or dash across the room. But yeah, so like this is just a simple way of taking what traditionally isn't a video game and turning it into a video game and stuff. And it requires a lot of imagination, a lot of innovation, and but usually people who do create things that other people are familiar with but change it in a different way often are pretty successful and stuff. And that's it.